Hi and welcome to 4 in a Row, a game for teaching animal vocabulary. This is a digital task card set that you can use in speech therapy with preschool through elementary age students, and you can find it on Boom Learning at the Play, Learn, Talk store. So this game is played to the rules of Connect 4, where you are trying to get 4 tokens in a row, and you are going to have the opportunity to learn 5 different categories of animal vocabulary. Now, if this is your first time playing the game, you want to take your students through the Learn portion first to review the names of the animals that they're going to be working with. So we have farm, zoo, ocean, forest, and bugs. We'll look at the farm first. Now we have a nice large picture of the animal, and then we have the written label in a carrier sentence, and we have a visual mouth cue of the initial sound. So you can very easily use this resource to also target articulation, especially if you're in a mixed group. It's really great to work on animal vocabulary, categories, articulation, sentence length, and also just turn taking in a game, okay? So I'll point out that you can easily target the TH sound, the S sound, so this, and the Z sound is, and then whatever the initial sound is here. So we have tokens on either side. These are movable. You can use them as a visual cue as your student produces the sentence. And then you can also use it as a natural reinforcer to get high repetition. So every time they complete the sentence, they get to build this up. Maybe you take a turn too, and now you're actually modeling the proper articulation that they are working on. Okay, so that's just for using it for articulation. Now make sure if you put this here, you're going to want to be able to push the button, so don't stack it right on top of it, okay? So our navigation is back and forward here on these arrows. Up at the top, the Play, Learn, Talk logo is going to take you back to the last navigation page, just like this one will take you back to the home page, okay? So here we're ready to play. Now we just finished reviewing the farm vocabulary, so we're going to go play in the farm area, and this is what our game board looks like. So once again, we have the tokens on either side. You're going to decide which color you are and who's starting first, and then you're going to review the game's rules at the bottom. Okay, so you're going to get 4 checkers in a row to win the game, and before you place your checker, you're going to name the picture that you see. So I like to label each animal with my student before we start, even though we just learned it, right? So we're going to label it together, and then if I am working on articulation like I did today, I had several groups. I think close to 5 groups that I use this for articulation, and we worked on sounds like CH and SH and S and Z, and there's a ton of animals that have all those sounds. So here, like I use this with a CH student, and we have chicken that we can focus on. I also used it with an S student. We have horse and mouse, and you can use it with an R student. So just go ahead of time with your student and pick out the words that have their sound in it. Now, if you're working on a sound that you can't really find a lot of the sounds within these animals, that's okay. I've actually included this carrier sentence strip down at the bottom that is fully adaptable to your student's current goal that you're working on, because you can just write in it and delete it, okay? So if we're working on the CH sound, we're going to create a carrier sentence. I choose, or you can just say I choose, right? I choose the whatever the animal is, and now every single time we are targeting the CH in an initial position and the Z in the final position and TH in the initial position as well. So you can use this as a visual here. You can also use this to ask questions. So if you're not working on articulation and you're working on labeling the vocabulary, you can have, what's the name of this animal? And you can point to it and then have your student answer the question, right? Or you can have that animal is called, or that animal says. So use it as a teaching tool while you're playing the game at the same time, okay? So here to the side we have a trophy for the red team and a trophy for the yellow team. After you've filled up the board, let's say the yellow team won, then they get to click the trophy, or you can click it if you're in control of it, and they will get this sound. Okay, so once you're done with the game, many of my students wanted to play again, especially if they didn't win. They want to have a second chance to beat you, right? So you can just press play again. So let's say our board was set up here, and we'll press play again, and it's going to take you to a fresh new farm board. Now this will happen 5 times total, and when you get to the 5th game board, your student will not have the option to play again. Now, if they really want to play the farm again, you simply would go up here and hit enter or return on your computer, and it will refresh your entire game and you can play again. But if you do that, all of your carrier sentences are going to disappear, so just know that ahead of time. Now, instead of going through this game board multiple times, you can ask your student, okay, let's play a different game board. Let's go over to the zoo animals, and it's going to give you the same setup with a new set of animals. So once again, if you don't know some of these, you can use this area to label what it is together, or you can go back here. This will take you back to the beginning of the game, and we were just in zoo animals, so we want to learn those zoo vocabulary words, okay? So we'll go through it, we learn it together. We can use this here to take turns if we're targeting articulation. Or even like fluency. You could use this for fluency or for pacing or for intelligibility, whatever you want to use it for. These can represent the number of trials that you've completed. And then once you are happy with the amount of practice you've done, you just hit play, learn, talk, and it's going to take you to this page. We just finished learning zoo animals, and here we can go in again and, oops, I'm sorry. We can go ahead and play here, and it'll take us to this board. And then it's going to give us that zoo board for us to play our game, okay? And you'll notice here we already had this written in, so it took us to the first board. So if that whole game was set up, you simply go here to press play again, and it'll take you to a fresh new board. So I hope you enjoy this with your students. If you have any questions, just can send me a message, and I'll be happy to address your questions and needs. And if you'd like to suggest a new game board to me to create, I'd be happy to hear that too.